What is this video about, babe?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
I was kind of just thinking like that the conversation we had, about our future and some of our plans, some of the things we could do.
I think first we should update everybody on how not having YNAB is working out.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, it's honestly not really that much of a difference because I wasn't so on the ball with YNAB anyway.
I feel like it's got to be a huge difference for you because now you are entirely in control of our finances.
Yeah, but as far as like using YNAB versus not using YNAB, I went from not using YNAB to still not using YNAB.
That's fair. Yeah.
But how's it been for you? Because I feel like this is your jam.
I feel like, okay, so for the first week, it was a lot of anxiety. Because I was like, how do we know we have money for this? And how do I know if these bills are paid? And, like, obviously, Cody and I had, like, a lot of, like, conversations together and worked on it together, got everything switched over together. There was a handoff, so to speak.
Yeah, which is still ongoing. It's not like we went it's very much not like we were just like, beat it, nerd, it's my problem now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still involved in the finances, but I don't, essentially we've gone through 2 paychecks now since we last dropped YNAB, and we don't use it at all. Cody has his own system in his little notebook that he uses where he keeps track of all the bills when they're due. For me, I would hate to do it like that, but for him it works really well. He makes sure all the bills are paid on time. None of the bills have bounced. We we had our savings account up over 1,000. I say had because we did just buy some mulch and some
we bought some stuff for the yard. One of the things we spend money on going out a lot because the kids want to do stuff, and also Val and I are very much homebodies, and the kids very much need to be like entertained and doing stuff, and those two things don't always mix so well. So I kind of want to get the backyard to a place where we can just be like, it's safe to go out in the backyard, go play. And part of it was just aesthetically, we needed a weed whacker. I budgeted $250 for it, and I managed to find one that I think we came in at like $130-ish, give or take. Something like that.
That was with the mulch. Yeah.
Yeah, with the mulch and the extension cord and stuff. We were like $200 with the weed whacker plus a bunch of extra stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that overall. The yard looks a lot better. We bought a bunch of grass seed because we did our best to keep up with just weeding the yard. And we just could not keep up with the thistles. So I'm hoping with it being early in the spring, overseeded a bunch, keep it nice and watered for the next couple of weeks, let new grass grow to choke out the weeds. And hopefully that will make like a nice yard that the kids can go in without needing, minor thistle surgery every day. Because I don't know if you guys know this about kids. They're not fond of having like tweezers and pokies and stuff taken to them all the time. So we had a bunch of that, but we've pretty much spent everything that we need to, all the big spending we need to do now. Next paycheck, we got to get the kids some shoes and some socks. And
we also need to get an oil change done.
Yeah, we're still 400 or 500 kilometers away from needing to worry about that, so that can be a next paycheck issue. But we briefly had the account up over $1,000, and then we bought some stuff. It is what is.
So Cody got the emergency fund taken care of. All of the bills are paid. He even had to come home in the middle of a shift.
Yeah, so the plan was for me to now be on my 1 week off from a 3-week shift so that next paycheck we could budget like a hefty sum of money for the next, check or two. But it wound up being that Val was very, very sick. She had like bronchitis or something that I'm pretty sure turned into pneumonia. Like she was in rough shape. So fortunately I work in a situation where I was able to go into the superintendent and be like, I need to bounce. Somebody's got to look after the kid. I honestly think my wife just sent me a video where she died on camera.
I did not.
So, I need to leave in a hurry. And they were able to sort out an extra site truck for me to take down the highway 4 hours to come home. And then one of the guys that was driving up was able to pick up that truck and drive it back to site a couple of days later. So, very happy about, not very happy about that. The plan of me working overtime was to have extra money to budget, not the same amount of money, but I did essentially get 3 weeks off. So that's cool. That's been fun to hang out with the kids. And
I'm sitting here thinking about how sick I've been. looking at this immunity stuff, and I was like, I'm going to take an immunity.
That probably sounded horrendous
Defense.
on camera. I'm sorry, guys. The rattle and stuff.
So things have been good. Cody's basically in charge of everything. He makes sure I'm taken care of, that there's always money for groceries and gas, and he always kicks me some spending money, which is nice.
Yeah, it's funny. I felt way more when we were doing the finances the way we were. I was like, I need the maximum amount of spending money that we can squeeze out for me. And now, like this last time, I think I allocated like $20 for myself, spent $12 on like a phone game, and now I just have like, after the exchange rate, like $5 left, and like that's fine for me, because honestly most of what I would use my spending money for is either like fast food or date nights with Val, or like, you know, I'm gonna save it up to buy like work boots or something like that. So I'm pretty happy with myself just taking like minuscule spending money every now and then to like pay for a phone game I enjoy, because I do believe in paying for the ones I like, because the people who made the game should be compensated for bringing, you know, joy and entertainment to my life. But also I can budget for boots and stuff if I need, and you know I do, but I'm stubborn. I'm getting 5 years out of these boots, so I'm gonna have to super glue them back together when I get to work. But that's neither here nor there.
What was I gonna say?
Was it about boots?
No.
Spending money?
One of the other things that's been nice since Cody took over finances is, what was it? So we went to go visit his mom over the weekend, and typically we would get road snacks on the way up, and we'd get road snacks on the way down, and that trip would always cost us like $80 in food and gas. And this time around, Cody was just like, nope, we're not spending money, we're going to bring snacks from home. And I don't think I vocalized it, but in my head I kind of pushed back a little, where I'm like, I have money.
I can see the lower lip.
Yeah, I was like, we have enough money in our discretionary spending. Like, we could grab hotcakes for the kids on the way up and some coffee and whatever. And it was more so out of habit. It's like a comfort thing, right? And so, anyways, long story short, I was like, I'm trusting Cody with the finances. I'm letting him lead the family more. So I'm just gonna shut it. So we went up, and it was fine. We went back home that night, and we got home. We were laying in bed, and we like to do like our pillow talk in the evenings, and
we're one of those weird couples that like each other, so we like talk and shit like that. And
I told him, I said, you know, even though I didn't love the idea of it in the moment, I was like, I appreciate that you know, took the lead and you were like, we're not doing this. Because it feels really good having come home knowing that we didn't spend that $60 or $80 that can now be spent for groceries or gas or something else that we really wanted. And it's little and big things like that where, for one, it feels better for me because now I'm not stressing about having to move money around and do we have money for this or do we not. I can just trust Cody, and like we still have conversations. Like just this morning we talked about our goals, what we want to do next year after we pay off our debt. That's
actually what prompted this video, is because we had like this great conversation about what the next year is going to look like, paying off debt, and some of the ways we could do that, some of the things we could do next year in order to like really spruce up the backyard. We're probably going to end up being in this house for ideally the next 5 to 6 years before we look at like putting a down payment on our own place. But we had like this great conversation about it, and then I was like, oh babe, that would have been great to film for like the channel and, you know, our peeps. But we didn't film that, obviously, so we're filming this instead.
Yeah. So anyway, so the main point here is that it's working out really well for us to not have YNAB. Again, I still love YNAB. I think it is a fantastic tool. If I had to do the budgeting, I would still be using it. But for whatever reason, this is working better for our dynamic, for our marriage, for our relationship, for our goals. I feel like things just feel easier right now. And maybe that's
my goal.
Maybe that's just because I don't have to deal with it anymore. Cody deals with it, but maybe it feels less easy for you.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been doing good.
I mean, now that Val handled all the back-end administration, like we just changed banks to a different bank and stuff like that, which we're actually really excited about because it's the same bank that our car loan is through. So now we can just, you know, every month, every other month, twice a month, whatever, be like, there's an extra $10, let's throw it at the car loan. And it's just a really easy in-bank transfer, or in-app transfer, rather.
Death by 1,000 cuts is what I had called it.
Yeah.
Death to the debt.
We've been murdering our personal finances with, you know, a bag of jerky, an energy drink, a thing of fries. So let's take that and murder our car payment, because, like, Hot dog, you guys.
I don't know if you guys watch Caleb Hammer, but he's another personal finance person in the space. And when I first came across his videos, I did not like him at all. He was very...
The computer died.
No, it didn't. It just the screen went to sleep. He was... I feel like he really shamed people about their finances. He really got angry at them about their finances. And I get that some of it is, for the attention, for the algorithm to push his videos out. His principles, for the most part, I think are good. I get a lot of comedic value out of watching his shows. But one of the things he does when he's going through people's statements is you'll hear him say things like taquitos, 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 McDonald's, taquitos, McDonald's, Starbucks, whatever. And I feel like that's how Cody and I always were. Not that we were going to gas stations getting junk food, but we were typically like coffee at McDonald's, coffee at Tim Hortons, Happy Meals for the kids. It was just a lot of like death by 1,000 cuts towards our goals.
Yeah. And the funny thing we found specifically about getting coffee, like I just drink black coffee or whatever. I don't really care. But Val, I got her a McDonald's coffee the other day and she was like, this is not good. The coffee at home is like 100 times better.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to invest in a good coffee thermos that I can take with me in the car, because the one I had rolled off the roof of the car and then I never found it again. So, but yeah, I'm much preferring home coffee. We spend a lot less money dining out. When we do go dine out, it's usually like a sit-down restaurant for Cody and I to have a date, or with the kids.
Oh, before I forget though, because we kind of jumped into this video, if you've been watching up to this point and you're new here and you're like, the fuck is going on? I am Cody. This is Val. Hi. We talk about our finances on the internet. We are working towards debt freedom and ultimate financial independence. We've got a few things going on the back end to try and make that happen. We're very excited about all of it. But we're talking about our finances. Enjoy.
And if you've been here for a while, you know we were originally known for our living in a 21.5-foot fifth wheel through a Canadian winter. We were full-time RVers.
That was my wife's impulsiveness.
But we enjoyed it.
We did enjoy it. She goads me into things that I think would be cool that I otherwise wouldn't do, because like there's a couch right there, guys.
I'm the impulsive dreamer with my head in the clouds, and Cody is the one that grounds us.
Yeah. Yeah, Val's the person, not this last time, but the time before that I worked a 3-week shift. I came home. The house was a little bit different. Whatever it is, what it is. Val likes to move furniture around. But I was like, what about that shelf right there from the last time we moved the house? And she was like, there's no shelf there the last time I moved the house. Because in the 3 weeks I've been gone, she'd rearranged the house like 4 times.
3 times. It was 3 times.
That's not exactly better.
Anyways, we're getting off track. we were known for the RV tangents. Thing. Then we were known for our debt-free journey. Then we were known for YNAB budgeting. And now we're just kind of like...
Yeah, now we're kind of
sharing our personal finance journey.
We're obviously not doing YNAB budgeting. We're still very much the personal finance journey. But we get a lot of comments about like relationship, marriage type finance stuff. So we're probably going to veer a little more into that over time, because especially watching some of the other budgeting channels and stuff out there, like Val just mentioned Caleb Hammer. Yeah, with his financial audits, like... Some people out there got like a whacked out financial situation. And I understand why the guy gets like so frustrated and kind of demeaning to some of these people, because like there's people out there just being like willfully ignorant and trying to do stupid things.
He's trying to provide that harsh wake-up call.
He is.
But I also think that that's part of the problem, is that people like him grow to be such these big personas on the internet, and people already feel embarrassed and shamed by their finances. So seeing people like him... Or even Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it further perpetuates people wanting to pretend like they don't have an issue with their finances, because they're afraid of having that kind of exposure.
The fact of the matter is, guys, like, barring the people that are willfully stupid, that they're just like, I'm going to go into a bunch of debt on 17 different credit cards to fund my life so I can not work and live like a prince and then just not pay it back and go to collections. Like, if that's not your life plan, like... chances are you got into whatever situation you are doing the best that you could with what you had. I mean, like a handful of years ago, Val and I had a truck repoed because we straight up couldn't afford it. And it seems really stupid. Cody, why would you guys get a brand new, top of the line, super expensive truck with $1,000 a month payment that you had to roll like $30,000 of negative equity into it?
Not our best financial choice.
But at the same time, at the time we did it, that was the best move for our finances.
Now it was like 7 years ago.
Yeah, that was like a ways ago. But at the time we did that, I had my truck, Val had her car. We were only ever using one vehicle at a time. So we were doubling up on parking, doubling up on insurance, doubling up on gas, doubling up on car payments. So that $1,000 a truck car payment with the $300 insurance for that truck that we ultimately couldn't afford after the economy went pear-shaped and I lost my job and my income got cut from like $8,000 to $2,000. Before that had happened, that was a good move because that was a far more streamlined, budget-friendly situation than what we were in. And I couldn't predict that oil was going to do what it was going to do, and then we were going to hit just like a global recession followed by a health situation, because I'm not exactly sure what about we can talk there before YouTube demonetizes us. But like, it was a whole thing that people couldn't have foreseen. But at the time that we did it, it was the right move. Like it made sense financially and mathematically. It was a smart thing to do for where we were. Smart. But like, I think that's how most people get into where they are. Like you do the best you can with what you have in the moment, and sometimes your feelings get in the way and blind you, whatever it is. But there's no shame around it, guys. You did the best you could.
It's crazy to think we've been a one-car household for 7 years.
Right?
Okay, so the one big thing that we wanted to talk about in this video is why I chose to surrender the finances to Cody.
Yes, because Val is the administrative genius. She is very up on like the computer stuff, moving things around. She loves checking the budget and reconciling things and doing like fantasy budgets for what if, and like she's got spreadsheets on top of spreadsheets, keeping track of her spreadsheets, guys.
So I think a smart person would have thought of the answer to this in advance and made bullet points, but I didn't do that. So,
which is what you love about us.
I'm going to kind of think my thoughts out loud as I process this. One of the reasons is because even though I am somebody who likes to be organized, I like spreadsheets, I love budgeting, I love helping other people with their budgets. I've helped a few people now in my personal life and in the online space create their own budgets, get out of debt. One couple is completely debt-free, and that feels really good to me. I know that my knowledge and my skill set is there, which is why I think in my mind I was like, I can do this, I can handle our finances. What I've come to realize over the years is that I cannot handle our finances. And not in the sense of like we were missing bills or anything like that. Like I wasn't doing a terrible job, but I am impulsive and I live in the moment and I am a spender. Whereas Cody is more of a grounded person. He's a natural saver. He's better at taking the lead. It's not that I can't lead if I don't have to. If I'm put in that position, I will. But I feel like I lead out of necessity and not because I want to, and I'd rather be a follower. Because I thrive. I'm learning in my older age, like in my 30s now, that as much as I thought I was a leader, I think I'm more of a follower in a lot of ways. Like I have to take on that role, because if I have to lead myself, I will always give in to my impulses and my emotions of the moment. And I don't think it's always a bad thing, but I think specifically with finances, like just in the last month, like Cody's managed to save $1,000. All of our bills are paid. We've always had money for groceries and I still get spending money. But somehow when I had the finances, we could never get it back to $1,000 in the emergency fund. We never had money for groceries and I never had spending money. So I don't know what we're doing different.
Well, in the last month, though, I've also been like, we're not buying a laptop right now. We're not buying a tablet right now. We're not buying a NAS right now.
This is true. Like, Cody has said no to me a lot more than I think he would have before, but I feel a lot less restricted.
Well, because before, like, you were on top of the budget. You knew what we could afford. And Val was very good about being like, I want this thing now. So, like, I can find room to make it happen.
That's true.
Whereas I just don't got time for that. She's made me aware of the things she wants. So once we get the saving account back to $1,000, that will become the zero. And then once we get it to $400, we're going to knock it back to $1,000 so that baby girl can have her laptop.
I think that's the difference too, is because Cody doesn't like having to say no to me.
I don't.
But he was also never involved in the budget. So if I asked for something and his response was, well, do we have money for it? And I would say something like, well, I could probably find the money. His answer was always kind of like, okay, if you can find the money, go for it. Whereas with him in charge of the finances, he has his firm boundaries of like, no, this is our zero, is $1,000. Whereas I was very much like, it's fine. The money's there. Like, I'll just take it. So I think it's a little bit of a different priority, different perspective, but we still work really well in this new dynamic. I think we work better, like our finances work better in this new dynamic. And surrendering finances to Cody, I feel like has already subtly changed other things about our dynamic. in marriage in general.
How so?
I'm trying to think of what it was the other day. I feel like there was an example that had come up, and I can't remember what it was.
Was it the chicken that almost killed me?
No.
Okay. So, no. I love Popeyes. I decided we were going to get Popeyes, and I have been in dire straits for coming up on 18 hours now because I can't do dairy. They use dairy in their thing. I know it makes me sick, but guys, it's spicy and crunchy and so delicious.
Oh, well, I remember what it was. I can't remember the exact conversation. I think it might have been around the lap dock, though. Or no, it was around the patio furniture. Yes. So we were at Rona grabbing the stuff for the backyard, and Impulsive Val was like, look at this patio set. I really like this patio set. We should buy it. And the gazebo, too, along with a fire pit. It was like $5,000.
Yeah, because we just got like $5,000 kicking around that I've just been like, man, if only I could find something to spend this on.
We don't. But immediately my brain was like, well, we were going to pay out the personal training along with what's in our savings account. Like, that's enough to at least get the patio set. And Cody's response was just like, it's not in the budget right now. It's not a priority this year. But you will get it. I will get you your patio set. And I was just like, okay. Like, I was just like, all right, if Cody says he's going to do it, then he's going to do it. And even though there's that part of me where it's like, but we could have it right now. I don't know. I just feel like I'm choosing to trust Cody to take the lead on the finances, and he hasn't steered us wrong in any other aspect of our life. And so far, he's not steered us wrong here. Mm-hmm. And I now,
keep in mind, it's only been a couple of weeks, so there's still room to take a left at Albuquerque.
And I've always had, a lot of trust and respect with Cody in like every area of our life. I don't think there's ever been broken trust or a lack of respect between us. So I think with me wholeheartedly agreeing to like, yes, okay, you're in charge of the finances, I also find it easier to just believe that he'll follow through when he says, okay, I've heard you. This is the thing you want. I will get it for you. But it'll be on his time, based around his priorities, based on what he's doing to take care of our family. And I think there's a lot more peace in that than I would have thought I would have had. I think I was gonna I thought I was gonna struggle with that because I am impulsive, and I'm like, well, if I want something now, I'm gonna make it happen right now, and if I let Cody be in charge of it, I'm not gonna get the thing right now. And I thought that was going to be a point of contention, and in the moment there is, like, I left the Rona and I was like, but I really want it. I'm like a child. But like now I'm fine. I'm just like, I have excitement around it because I'm like, next year's going to be awesome because we'll get to save up for these things, and it'll happen because it won't be a death by 1,000 cuts of losing our money to these little impulse purchases.
Yeah, and like by this time next year, we're going to be out of debt. We're going to have a healthy emergency fund. We're not going to have any bank fees because our new bank does have bank fees, but they waive them at between $3,000 and $5,000 depending on the type of account that you got open. So we're going to have 1 or 2 accounts worth of bank fees no longer be an issue. And we're going to have like a nice, like pretty gangster setup in the backyard as far as like a fire pit and a gazebo and some patio furniture, and ideally like a nice lawn that like we can go out and be barefoot in without getting thistles and junk. Hopefully like a keep the mosquitoes away type of situation, which apparently you can just like hang garlic around, so we might just do that. We'll vampire proof our yard and it'll keep the mosquitoes away too.
If you guys have any questions about like what, I don't know, anything, like what our finances look like, what our debt payoff looks like, what like how Cody's budgeting money or transferring money, or I don't know, but whatever questions you have, you know us, we're pretty transparent, we're pretty happy to share our perspective and our experience. So if you have anything, leave it in the comments below. We'll do a video on it.
So we'll leave you here, guys. Thanks for coming along. We hope you found some entertainment or other value in this video. We love you guys very much. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you ring the bell, because now that we're not tying our videos to my pay schedule, there's the potential for a little bit of erraticness within the posting. So
that's why we haven't posted in like 4 weeks.
Well, and Val's been like,
and I've been sick,
neck deep in the grave for a hot minute here. So she's better now, mostly. Yes. But yeah, we'll leave you here, guys. We love you very much. Thanks for tagging along, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.